Yeah, all right. Well, dear friends, welcome to the show. We currently have 0 viewers, so this is the period in which we aren't really going to talk about anything important. So tell me, what are all your beliefs on government? No, I'm just kidding. That's a stupid joke. It's like a Ron Swanson ripoff joke. But let me see here. Looks like. Howdy, y'all, and welcome to the Stay Creative podcast, a show I started with the hope of sharing independent music and getting to know the people who make it. And having conversations with people about their art, I have found insights and tips that have helped me with my own artistic journey, but I have also found joy in connecting with people as they share from their own experiences. It is my hope to share with you not only these practical tips, but the highs and lows of being human beings trying to capture and share our feelings and thoughts through music. I believe these highs and lows can be bridges, connecting us to those we inspire, as well as those we admire. None of these artists started their artistic journey with the skill they currently possess, and none of them are done growing, just like you and just like me. So please, listen to the music, the stories, and the souls being shared, and accept this invitation to share something of your own with the world. To get started, obviously, everybody needs to know you as well as I pretend I know you, because we're all very old friends, and everything is very good. So, friends, welcome to the show. I used to call it a podcast, but it's so much more now. There's a video involved. So it's more of a TV show than a podcast, right? We're all TV stars. Anyway,
the T-Rex show.
The T-Rex show, yes, man. This would be an extremely disappointing thing to see if you try to go to a T-Rex show and you're like, it's just a bunch of people talking. There's not a single T-Rex devouring anything. It's like going to a monster truck show and the monster trucks are just doing math. No thanks.
You would at least need a costume.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know anybody who uses costumes in their creations. You know, like everybody I know is just the realest version of themselves in their art, and I love it, and it's beautiful.
I think that's so important too. I mean, anyone who uses a costume is so gimmicky. Just do it for the music.
Get out of here. Your music should just be its own art. You know? Yeah. I love it. Well. Obviously, I keep trying to start this part where we introduce ourselves. I'm T-Rex Jones. I started this podcast because I love independent music. I love you guys. I love the people I have met who make that independent music. And I think more people should hear it first because it's good and it's enjoyable, but also because those people will absolutely be inspired to make their own art based on the conversations that honest, real deal, no gimmick artists have. And I think that that's important, and I take pleasure and pride and a sense of duty in sharing it with the world. So let's do some introductions. From the far-off land of Clendathu, please, Bug, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Bug. I'm speaking into my neurotranslator here, so you will all be able to understand me, as I hail from, as Trex mentioned, very distant lands. I've come here due to complications on my home planet of Clendathu until that name comes under copyright infringement, at which point it will be changed. But I've come here in an attempt to study what makes humans tick and what motivates human artistic values. And so I'm studying music and art and learning a lot along the way and trying to make my own and pass by as one of you. So far, so good.
Yeah, I think so. I've heard enough of your music to say that, if that ain't human music, I don't want to be human anymore. So good work.
In my reports back to the monitors back in Clendathu, they have said the research is going well so far, and that I have them tricked.
Yeah. Nobody suspects a thing. Awesome. Echo, please introduce yourself, and also tell me what I'm supposed to call you. I don't everywhere.
So my name is actually Echo. Fun fact.
That's fantastic.
I'm actually trying to come up with an artist name. Yeah, so I was like toying with the idea of like coming up with a more like, I don't know, normal artist name to me.
Yeah.
My artist name and my real name is Echo, but we'll see.
Yeah. That's
I
awesome.
hail from Earth. Yeah, so I love making music. I also love doing visual art, and I learned to play guitar maybe about 6, 7 years ago, and since then I've just been obsessed with writing songs, and
Mm.
more recently I've been learning to record and mix and things like that. So
Nice. Yeah, yeah.
happy to be talking to you guys.
Yeah, super happy to be talking to you. Super happy to be sharing some of your music. I have not found a lot of your music. Do you
Yeah,
have a lot of
so
stuff released?
I don't have much released.
Yeah.
Everything that I have released is on SoundCloud right now, although I am putting my first EP out
Yeah.
soon. So that'll be on streaming, Bandcamp, and
Do you have a
Spotify and
specific date?
everything. But I don't, but I'm hoping it'll be soon. There have been some
Nice.
hiccups.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of what I've done has not been shared with the world just yet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's exciting. I'm really excited to share the song and video that you're sharing today.
Oh yeah, the video.
I enjoy how I enjoy how it's telling me some kind of story, even if I don't really know what the story is. You know what I mean? I love it's just kind of like a collection of elements that lead me to thoughts and feelings without necessarily telling me what it's supposed to, what it's
Yeah.
trying
Oh,
to
that's
tell
great.
me. Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
like that.
I'm glad. Okay, let's move on. Mark, I'm pointing at the wrong screen again. Here is my camera, not up here.
So I'm Mark. I actually don't speak French like our one person here, but the name of my label and the YouTube channel I'm trying to do videos is Rêve Vague. So I've made music for a long time. I think next week will be like the 10th anniversary of my first LP.
Hmm.
But most of the time I make music under the name Good Morning Daydreamer, or with my wife as My Home is the Sea.
Nice.
And we're just I'm at this point right now where I've been doing this a long time, and I'm like, I want to try to do like a visual element to it. So that's
Yeah, yeah.
we found Discord server to like learn how to make videos and just kind of, I don't know, just kind of expand my idea about making music. So
Mhm.
mostly it's focus on trying to learn how to do video right now. That's
Yeah.
what all this stuff behind me is. So
I remember the first time I heard any of your music, it was a video, and it was like the handwritten lyrics, cut up style video. And then the second time I heard your music, it was that kind of video. And I was all like, oh, there's like a whole theme going on here with his videos and stuff. And I
I've done it for years. It's like art that I've done for years, and I've always done this thing with like tape, and I write things down and have it all over the place. It's like a weird obsession of mine, if that makes sense. Like I do it. It's just like I guess an aesthetic. It's just something I've been into for years, and
I really like that. It reminds me of like a zine or something. I really like that handwritten element to
Yeah.
a video.
thank you.
I didn't-
I refuse to learn how to do anything digital, like in Final Cut. So
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. I didn't make the zine connection, but I really enjoyed the kind of handmade feel. Like and the thing is, it's not handmade in like that it lacks easy to take in quality, because the video is well made. It's clear, it's crisp, it's well lit. It's not cut in a way that clashes with the music. But everything that is in the video is very handmade and just yeah. But I like it. It's a good balance.
thank you. I wanted to be an artist, but I never succeeded.
Hey, you're an artist, man. You're on an artist podcast right now. You've made it. Flora, please tell us some more about
Hey.
yourself.
Hey, so my name is Flora Lin. I'm a French singer-songwriter, and I've worked in several different genres through collaborations. Yeah, I've done some synthwave. I released an EP in synthwave with Televangelis. And I've also done like jazz, trip hop, electronica, alt rock, metal.
Yeah.
And what I like to do is add a pop dimension to songs that have some complexity and sometimes weirdness in them. I like songs that have some contrast. And initially, I'm not a musician at all. Actually, I started a few years ago when I moved to the UK. I saw people there playing music everywhere, and then I realized it was my secret dream, but I never dared to go for it. So I started there. So I joined a few live bands to practice my singing, and I started a lot of online collaborations to practice my writing without being judged.
Yeah.
Just being judged for what I do, but not for who I am. So yeah, that's how we started.
That's awesome. Yeah. So in the time that you've been, ooh, sorry, I just hit my desk. I hope that wasn't like an ear blast. In the time that you've been collaborating online, and also, you know, when you were able to play live with people a little more frequently, I imagine, has that feeling become, I guess, do you feel like an artist? I guess that's what I'll ask, because you know you started
Not
with,
really.
yeah, not really. That's crazy.
No,
Everything you mentioned, like you try to bring like a pop element into whatever genre of music you're working on, and I noticed the first time I heard you was Antediluvian Project, John, who plays the trumpet and the crazy drums. Yeah. He's great, and I remember thinking, oh, he's got a vocalist, it's going to be like thrashy screaming music, you know, just that's kind of what goes with math drums, I guess. And I heard your music and I was like, it's a different song now. Like I don't even remember what I was imagining the vocals might be, because it's so perfectly covered in this poppy type vocals, like very cohesive, good music. You changed the genre without changing anything about, you know, the drums or the horns or anything. Yeah. It was good.
I was very surprised that he accepted. I really fell in love with his music. Like the first time I heard it, I was just like, I have to talk to this guy. And when I suggested, like, if he needed a quiet, mellow vocalist,
yeah,
I would really love to work with him. And he said yes, and I was really surprised.
That's awesome.
But I always wanted to do something, especially in metal. I really wanted to bring some quiet, gentle vocals to a very heavy kind of sound. I really like to listen to that, actually. So I wanted to do something like that.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And also the TVLA EP, whenever I first saw that, I clicked it, you know, in Spotify or whatever, and it opened and it started on the last track, and I thought, oh, it's just a single. And then someone said, no, it's a whole, Bug actually said, no, it's a whole EP. And I said, what? Like there's more tracks to this. So I had to go back and listen to it. But yeah, no, it's been really impressive to see how many things you can make sound like your art without changing anything about the other people's contributions to it. I'm really impressed by that.
That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for being on the show. Let's get to the first question. I have two questions for each of you. And the first one is, let's talk about just the pits. Let's talk about the worst part of making independent music. What are your current challenges? What is a moment that comes up whenever you're alone and tells you you're not good enough? Let's share some of those types of those conversations. And then, spoiler alert, later on, we're going to talk positively. So we won't stay in the dumps too long. Echo, will you start us off?
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, immediately what's come to mind is learning a DAW, because for many years I only used Audacity to just basically record. I wasn't even really recording things to share, just to like have them and just file them away. That's silly. So I didn't really pay much attention to mixing or like recording anything correctly or the correct levels. So now that I have Reaper now, which is, I actually love Reaper, but it is so hard to learn any DAW, let alone my first one. And so I don't know, I just feel like I hate how it holds up the songwriting process. I mean, like, I just feel like when I have a song in my head, I just want to get it out, and like, I don't know. Then there's this like, there's inevitably some, you know, tiny, almost inconsequential thing that I have to like watch a few YouTube videos about just to like record this one song. So I guess for me, the learning of the DAW is kind of the pits.
Has it for you, has it transitioned? I remember I felt the same way. I used Reaper for years to just record loud, one microphone, one take nonsense. And I loved doing it, and I thought Reaper was the best because it let me, you know. But in the past year or so, after finding IMF, people have said, hey, this would be better if you produced it at all. you know? And I'd say, probably. So I've started learning that. And at a certain point, I can't say when, that shifted from a chore I had to do to like really loving my art in a better and more serving way. You know, has that kind of changed for you in any way since you started using the doll that way?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I feel like there is a lot of creativity. It can be fun when you know your tool. It can be really fun to sort of use that to improve your song, and I do love that. So I feel like getting there
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, but other than that, I would say my other thing is that I love singing. That's sort of like half the reason that I make music. I just love to sing, and I currently live with other people, and I mean they're always either neighbors or I mean not always, but like my situation is like it's not always easy to sing,
Yeah.
and so I'm having trouble figuring out like where I can A, record without like background noise, and B, just like practice without, I don't know. I mean, it's not even really about feeling self-conscious, but more so like I can really like I can really get the sound that I'm going for if I am alone, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's another thing I'm figuring out, I guess. But
Yeah. For sure, for sure. Do you guys have that have you stumbled upon or overcome the hurdle of dealing with a doll or apartment living? That's kind of what it sounds like you're saying is you live across a single wall from someone doing their dishes and it's like
it's always something like that. Yeah.
Mark, Flora, Bug.
Do you mean to say something about that?
You can.
About
You
the
don't have to.
sound? You know, I don't. You know, it used to bother me, and then I think I started using dynamic microphones. Like sometimes these are physically easier. And then I just started embracing it. Like it is what it is, and if it's noisy, I'll clean it up in post. I figured out like some ways, and my heater is right there, which can be kind of noisy, but like my cat is like, Rah!
Yeah.
You know, like I think just the more I do it, the more I notice that there's like it's not really that big of a deal. Like my dishwasher, my wife do something upstairs, and I just might do a second take. If it's really bad, I'll just do a second take, or I'll just try to clean it up.
Yeah.
You get really good at this stuff, so
Yeah. It's there's a definite like requirement of having the patience to do the second take, I think, to really do your art the justice it deserves.
Sure.
I kind of hate doing second takes. Like I feel like the second I play a thing the second time, it's not as real anymore. Like I know it too well, or it's faker in some weird way, and I hate that mindset, and I try really hard to get over it. But yeah, it's worth it. You know, I agree.
Yeah, I'm still struggling with Reaper as well. Yeah, I'm using Audacity by laziness most of the time, but sometimes like once a year I practice mixing and then I open Reaper. So I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
But when it comes to recording takes, I am very obsessive. I do not count how many takes I record for each line.
Yeah.
Actually, when I started these collaborations, my first collaborator said, okay, I'm going to do some panning. So I would like 3 takes per line. So I kept that habit actually. So I send 3 takes of the same line. But to achieve that, sometimes it requires like 50 takes. I don't count them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
once I looked it up on Reddit to see if it was normal, and I think the answers were like, no, it's not normal. You should rehearse before and just release, and like 3 takes should be enough. Like not 50, not 100. And
That's crazy.
yeah, but
Yeah.
If it works for you, I mean,
Yeah.
that's great, you know?
I think
I
that's.
think
Oh, I was just gonna say that's super important. Is just like it works for you. Probably, anytime I've ever asked the internet if I'm right about something, they have insisted I am not. So it takes some time to figure out what works. What works, what works for you.
but I'm really impressed by the level of production in Echo's work. Honestly, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe you were learning to mix. I thought you were already quite.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I was gonna say there's a technique called comping where you just record like the same vocal like 10 times and then you just kind of find the bits that you like and like I wouldn't stress doing it a million times because that's sometimes sometimes that's how you get it. You just do it a lot, and once you shut off your brain, it's usually in the second take or something like that. But, like you find the little bits and then you patch them together. That's how a lot of guys do it.
Yeah.
I find that to be way too often true. I'll record a dozen takes and then end up using the first 4 because those were the best all along.
Yeah.
I definitely
Go ahead.
I definitely relate to the struggle of wrestling with the DAW. That's definitely been the biggest hurdle for me because I come from a background back in Kondothu of playing instrument guitar, rock bands, bar, what have you. And so there, you don't need to worry too much about the production aspect. You're just performing, and other people will take care of the other instruments.
Yeah.
But now, when you try to do everything yourself, it makes all those little hurdles feel that much greater. And the more that you learn the DAW, you may run into those hurdles less. But when you do run into them, it makes them that much more frustrating.
Yeah.
But,
for sure. And I think Echo,
so
you also said something about how it feels like a roadblock between you and the actual making of the art.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't like to interrupt the flow. Like, I like learning my tools, but like just the flow of writing the song and wanting to piece it together. I mean, for me, I'll like write a song on guitar and like I have the like guitar and the vocals down, and then I'll like getting into the DAW is like sort of the second fun part, I guess, after I just said that the DAW is the worst part. Because like then you can build it and like be, like it's like playing with Legos or something.
Yeah, it is.
So like
Can be.
that's the part where like I don't like when the flow gets interrupted by having to like, figure out, I can't think of an example right now, but like the smallest, stupidest thing and like watch like 5 YouTube videos and like finding like, I feel like the YouTube video is like, it'll be like 20 minutes long and then you need like 15 seconds and like find where that info is and like, anyway. So.
I'm completely, I feel like you have watched me try to learn how to do something in Reaper based on that explanation, because it's always some guy and he's got like a weird camera setup and he's like, and now I'm going to show you how to do this, and it's like a segmented video that's like 85 segments long, and it's like, why, Lord? No, I don't need this. Just tell me how to split the thing and make it backwards. That's all I want, whatever. Bug, I would like to move to you, dear friend. Tell me, on Klendathu or your time on Earth, what has been just the worst part of making independent music?
the whole thing. Not getting your ideas to translate the way that you might want, or having this idea that you work on and then listening to it the next day and realizing, well, time to move on to something new. That one didn't come out too good. Or working really hard on a project, being really happy with it, and then sharing it with people who do not share the same enthusiasm as you do. It can be a little disheartening. But that's why you got to make music for yourself. Make sure it makes you happy first. It's something that I've learned while studying you people.
Yeah, for sure. Have you guys... go ahead.
The trials of pleasing yourself and then the trials of having your music please others. It's tough.
Yeah. It's like that like literary breakdown of like man versus nature, man versus man, like those different types of stories, but like making art is both at the same time. You're wrangling yourself and the material and other people all at the same time somehow, when really all you have to be doing is loving your music. Sometimes it's funny, I see Bug like tilt his head in a way and I'm all like, I don't know what that means on Klendathu. Is that an approval tilt or a disgust?
It's open to interpretation. It might be disgust, it might be amusement, no.
Yeah, it seems based solely on the chat, I think the technical hurdles is absolutely one that everybody can agree on. But also Papa Janinsky, he's kind of the chat chat star lately until someone removes that title from him, points out that the real like story of the creative process is learning how to express within the limitations, of what you have to work with. And I think that's absolutely true. So much so that now whenever I make things, I often will set the limitations beforehand for myself. I'll say like, I'm going to use acoustic guitar and I'm going to write 5 songs and they're going to be about this. And then I'll start writing the songs as opposed to waiting for like inspiration to strike. Like I find the limitations of the thing I'm trying to create and I start working on it from there. But this show's not about how I make things. I mean, mostly. Have you guys had moments like what Bug's talking about? Have you sent your creations out into the faceless ether to be ignored, or even worse, maybe even discouraged by others? Flora?
I'm too shy to do that.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't often ask for feedback unless I am collaborating with someone who asks me to ask for feedback, or
Yeah. That's interesting. I guess I've only really heard your music in the context of somebody else telling me I collaborated with Flora.
It's possible.
Yeah. So that makes sense. You just let the talent stand for itself. Who cares how it gets to the people, right? What about you, Mark?
I was going to say that I think that is probably what my challenge is. I would say, my biggest frustration about independent music is probably the value it has in really society around us. It's we're told everything has value that you buy. It's not that I'm trying to sell my music for money or anything like that, but what's hard is everything around you, everything that you buy, everything that you do has a monetary value, and yet art and music I understand the idea that it's free, but that it really has no value, monetary value to other people. They're not willing to spend money on it. So
Yeah.
I would say, I've been like struggling with that concept for years. It's like circling in my head often. And I don't have a good solution for it.
Yeah. That's I've definitely had the experience where I'm trying to get people to listen to my music completely for free, and they just don't. Like even friends, even family members, they're like, "Oh, I'll check this out sometime." No, you won't. Don't lie.
It's tough. It has lost value to, I guess, like the common man, in a sense that that's kind of why I started doing video is because I felt like I could try and with that visual component, you could reach more people that way. It's tough,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
This head tilt is to indicate disgust.
Yeah.
Human society doesn't place as much value on independent arts as it should.
Yeah. Man. So, well, I mean, I want to ask this question, but I want to be very sensitive to the people of Clondathu. What's it like on Clondathu, Bug? Because the independent artists just make a killing?
That information, if I try to share it, will be redacted by the Clondathu government. You might get a strike on your channel, so it's best we just move on.
That's true.
Hush,
That's true.
hush.
We may already have been shut down. I don't even know at this point,
This is not broadcasting on Clondathu public access.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I would like to move into the first of the songs we're going to share today. I definitely told you guys the order we were going in, and I have forgotten that order. So we're going to start with Echo's video, because it's at the top of my screen right now. So I'm going to mute my microphone. Please do the same. Unless Echo, you're allowed to talk over your own song and give us like commentary, but you don't have to. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll just cower over here.
Okay, perfect. I'm switching over now.
Beautiful.
I had a,
Thank you.
yeah, it's
I
super
love this
good.
song.
I've listened to so since
Hi,
you sent me the
everyone.
what
Thanks
is
so much
happening?
for-
Oh no, sorry, another video
Oh,
started.
where did Bug go?
He
Is it just me? I can't see Bug.
oh
Oh,
there
there's Bug.
bug.
Not to keep you guessing.
Yeah,
I know what he did. He did the. That's what he did.
I
That
would
song
like
is
to say-
beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for the kind comments. That's really awesome. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. I like. There was one specific one. Slackerman, I think it was. Said you're whispering in this because of the
Yeah.
the the previously mentioned like roommates or neighbors, I guess. But it's crazy. I think Flora brought up your production is really good. Like that vocal felt layered in a way. I don't possess the vocabulary to explain how like upfront, present, and powerful those vocals felt, even though they also simultaneously had like a subtleness to them. I really
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I actually that whole thing I did in Audacity actually.
Nice. Yeah. Well,
Did
why
the best I could
why,
with it.
why did you ever switch? No, I'm just kidding. Also, I've listened to the track a few times since you sent it over to me, and this particular time I couldn't stop listening to the lead guitar going on. I was like, oh man,
My
it's,
jangly little lead.
yes, jangly is the word for it. I love it. I loved it for its jangliness. Is lead guitar something that is just like, whenever I put any kind of lead instrument on anything, it is all of my effort to get something vaguely passable. Is that something that you work with a lot?
I love playing guitar. When I do lead, I actually do the opposite of that, and I just sort of I guess I don't really plan it out very much because I like that sort of jangly,
Yeah, yeah,
loose sound.
yeah.
So
It was rock and
yeah,
roll, definitely. I dug it.
thanks.
But yeah, I don't want to move on too soon. There were honestly too many comments during the song for me to possibly catch up on.
Oh yeah,
But they were all very, very in favor of Echo, the human,
I appreciate
as
that.
as they should be. But I did want to get back to our negative question, and I feel like Mark has answered. Did you have anything additional to add to that, or was that basically the answer you were already waiting to give?
Oh, about yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I love to make music. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I would say it's just the value of society. Well, not society. That sounds lame, but just it's just we're inundated with it now, so it kind of people just take it for granted when it's like when you've done something for 5 years and it's like, oh, this is like I did all this stuff by hand and I'm really excited about it. Like what
Yeah.
Bug was saying, like you're just like super pumped about something, and then it's like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah. Have you found any of that I guess relief in what Bug was mentioning, like you just got to make it for yourself if it makes
Oh
you
yeah,
happy,
well
then it's
I
good.
always do.
Yeah,
I always
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I think it's just I've been doing it like so long now that it's like, my first record came out in like 2009. So it's like I'm like, I'm a lifer, but yeah, I think it's just year after year after year you're just kind of like, yeah, it's just, but
Yeah.
I don't let it bog me down. I just keep going.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I understand. It's absolutely an important distinction to say you can think something is bad without it changing how you live your life, without it changing how you approach your art and things. So that's good, man. That's good.
I wanted to say to Echo, I really love that song. I didn't want to change the topic, but it reminded me of like there's this artist named Grouper.
Oh yeah, Cooper's great.
She does cassette art, and she is just like, oh, she is wonderful. It reminded me of my favorite things about Grouper. So
Awesome. Thank
kudos.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel very fortunate often whenever I hear something like that because I do not have a band it sounds like to me. Like I listen to like 5 bands and none of them are groupers. So when I hear Echo, I think this is the most unique thing I've ever heard in my life. There's nothing in the world that sounds like this. I told Bug that one time and he was like, I could make you a list of the things I sound like. But yeah, that's awesome. I also like you're never changing the subject. This is I'm just trying to keep someone talking, at any given moment. So if anybody has anything to say that isn't what I'm talking about, please just say it. I'm perfectly fine with it.
Well, continuing that train of thought of people not placing as much value on indie music and whatnot, or listening to other people's music, it's also, and it's a good problem to have, but there's such a saturation of music now. Music has never been easier to make and to get into the hands of other people. So now you have just exponentially more people creating music and offering it. And it's hard to find time to listen to everybody's and to place value on hearing everybody's stuff, which is why at least one solution to that, I for so long was convinced, I'm going to go the music route my own. I'm going to do everything myself. But community is super important. Shameless plug for the community that linked us all together. In the music feedback definitely
Yeah.
helped me find, the motto is what? Have your music heard. And it's very true. People do take time to listen to each other there.
Yeah.
And that finding little pockets like that, whether it's on the internet or in person or just other like-minded people, is really important to continue your music journey, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I am more excited for upcoming IMF artist releases than, and it's not even a good comparison to make because I have no idea when my favorite like mainstream bands are releasing something. It's just out all of a sudden, and I listen to it. But I know when all of my favorite IMFers are releasing something because I am actively trying to also make people know about it because I love it, So yeah, I'm with you, man. Like community is what you get out of a good community, what you put in, and it's important. but yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead.
One moment as I plug in my laptop before it dies.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm here listening, but
Yeah.
one moment.
Awesome. Awesome. I wanted to ask Flora, tell us some about just the worst thing about making independent music as you found it.
It's kind of related to Bug just said. Actually, all of the technical things like the limitations and everything that has been mentioned, I know about it too, and I agree that it is frustrating. But I avoid all of that by collaborating. So, like, I avoid a lot of the production and things like that. But what I thought of was a niche or an audience, and it's related to what Bug said because it's hard to find the time to listen to music, but it's also hard to find how to listen to a certain kind of music you're looking for. So for instance, there are many people on IMF, like, I don't know, Antediluvian Project or DHXP that I discovered on Reddit on IMF, but and that I would have been an immediate fan of if I discovered them elsewhere on YouTube or whatever. And I just have no idea how I could have found them,
Yeah.
because I don't know where to look. So and I think, yeah, we're, as musicians too, we have the same problem because well, there are tools like Submit Hub, but it's really targeting certain kind of playlist. You have to really fit in a certain genre, a certain mood. So it's not that easy. So yeah, sometimes I find that a little bit frustrating, both as a musician, as someone who makes music, and as someone who listens to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to agree completely. Like, there's almost the industry, is not the scene. Like the people who are making money by making other people's art important or easy to hear or accessible or on the radio, like, they aren't looking for communities where art is being made. They're looking for what's kind of already popular, or what they can make into what's already popular, So both as a listener, when I turn on the radio, I'm like, I don't want to listen to, like, and I know it's kind of like a hipster thing to say. There's plenty of things that play on the radio that are very enjoyable. It's just I don't personally hear the kind of aliveness that I want when I hear it, Yeah. I wanted to bring up some fun comments that we've received. There's one person who's always chatting. I don't know our friends' Twitch names, guys. I realize this is a problem, so I really appreciate people who have the same Discord name and Twitch name. That's very easy for me. But one of our friends has brought up how it's important to always strive to break the stigma that monthly listeners are equal to the value or quality of your music, and I think that that's important, not only as kind of a thing we can remind ourselves, but in reminding one another, that your music is good. I love your music, even if no new people heard it last month. It doesn't matter what Spotify for Artists says about your music. It doesn't matter what Submit Hub says about your music. It is good. You are good. The things you make are valuable, with or without ears to hear it. And another thing, I wanted to bring up Atlantic Canyons, good old ADL, said what they love about independent music is the intimacy. You have a closer relationship with the artist. Like, when you, and I agree, like, I fall in love with every band I watch a documentary about. You know what I mean? and IMF or a community that I get to be a part of is like living in the times that artists will eventually have a documentary made about. So I really like that too. And that's why, Atlantic Canyons loves IMF too. Which, again, shameless plug, because what else are we trying to say here by sharing our music, sharing our art, but also inviting people into making it. They can't achieve the level of connectedness and supported and encouraged that I feel a lot of IMFers have in a vacuum. or in a lesser quality community, I think. So yeah, shameless plug again, boastful plug for IMF. Everybody should find IMF or make your own version of it somewhere, I think. But yeah, so I think that kind of catches us up on the pits, you guys. Sorry, everything I say takes like 20,000 extra words to say. I realize now that I just repeated what someone else said, but I used like an essay to say it. Sorry about that. I think, whoops, there went my mic again. I think that is a good time to go ahead and listen to the next track. We're going to listen to the one that Bug shared with us, which is actually, I did not plan this, featuring Atlantic Canyons, which is kind of a fun tie-in. Yeah. So I'm going to mute my microphone and we'll get that going. Delightful fade out that was abruptly ended when I was scared the next song was going to start. Great track, man. Tell me some more about that track. I've already revealed that ADL is hold on, where did Bug go? What's happening?
Hi, my name is Trey. I'm a first year acting student down at the local community college.
Oh no.
You got to pay rent, so I figure I'll take any acting gig I can get. And so this guy reaches out. He calls himself Bug. He gives me a script. It is not the score to Aquatic Ambiance. Ambient. I can't even pronounce it right because that's not what it is. So It's a script from Bug. And he told me to say a couple things. I'm supposed to be playing his agent, I guess. This guy's a music guy. He told me the reason I took the job, though, it speaks to my acting sensibilities, is he told me I can improv all the answers to the questions that you ask as if I were an independent musician giving honest answers that represent Trey, the acting student, the first year acting student, which if I smile and break character is because I'm a first year acting student.
I mean, that's real. It's real life, man. I like it, Trey.
Thank you. So Bug says about that track,
Trey, you're not even on the right page.
How am I supposed to read this?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that was a collaboration between themselves and Atlantic Canyons, who has previously been on the show, I hear, according to the notes that I'm reading. Really, Bug really likes dream pop type stuff, and that song was actually made at work. He uses his work laptop for music production, and so all of the synths in that were played using the keyboard on the laptop through headphones. And that was intended to tie back to your earlier conversation, which I was watching on Twitch, about how sometimes you have to make the most of limitations that you have. And so sometimes you don't have any instruments at work because
Yeah.
you're working a corporate 9 to 5 and you need to stick it to the man and write a synth pop track and then ask someone super talented to sing on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it worked out.
Just hope someone else brings all the talent, because all you got is a work laptop, right? Yeah.
All I got is my acting chops.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
Bug has is the laptop.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, Trey, I hope there's some additional notes because I really wanted to talk to Bug, the Bug, by the way. If you don't, I just don't know how I feel about a stranger talking for Bug. You know, it's weird to me. But I did want to talk to the
It's
Bug
detailed notes.
Yeah. Oh, good. About his very recent project, Indie for a Cause. Do you got any notes in there about that?
He's got a whole part.
Okay, perfect.
There's
Please tell me some more
ton
about
of it.
Indie for a
There's so
Cause.
much. So a little while back, Bug had been discussing with some other people about the potential for, kind of came up as a whim, but are you familiar with the song Heaven is a Place on Earth by Belinda Carlisle? Ooh, baby, do you know what
Yeah.
that's worth?
I'm more familiar with the song than the name Belinda Carlisle, honestly. So yes, yeah, I'm with you.
Everyone. That's true for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
So Bug had the impromptu idea, what if we get a bunch of people to record a cover of this? And the only way people will maybe agree to doing this is if we do it for something good in the end. So maybe we can donate proceeds. However, there are logistics behind using someone else's song and then selling it. And then even if you intend to do good with that money. So that idea quickly shifted to instead be compilations of original tracks, and thought that maybe there could be a monthly or bi-monthly compilation release that features different artists, and each compilation, all of the proceeds would be donated to different charities or organizations. Bandcamp offers something called, Bandcamp is a music hosting platform where you can upload your own music, sell it for whatever price you would like. And ordinarily they take a small percentage of proceeds, but the first Friday of every month, they have what's called Bandcamp Friday. So the idea was to release the first compilation on one of these Bandcamp Fridays, so 100% of the money received would be able to then be donated rather than getting some percentage of that cut. So one of another IMFer, Striped McCoy, suggested the organization AAJC, Asian Americans Advancing Justice. Roped in a bunch of people, both from IMF and other groups involved with the online radio station called Volume Lithic. And by I mean Bug. I'm just reading from a script.
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
happens to
You're
also
really
be on the walls.
You're wonderfully getting into character. I love this. Trey, for a first year, man, you're going places.
I would love it if you could put that into writing, because my teachers do not believe me.
I don't own a pencil, so sorry.
That's what everyone who compliments me says the same thing. But yeah, so that first compilation, we got 27 people, and raised a bunch in that first weekend there, and it seemed to go well. And so we're currently working on volume 2, and we're looking for people to be involved, as well as suggestions for future organizations, and hopefully make this grow.
Yeah, that's excellent. Do you have maybe not the organization, but the idea, the theme for volume 2, what that will be going to support?
We are currently looking at sort of support and relief efforts in Minneapolis right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, awesome. If you if you're listening and you have any knowledge of the area or the needs there, let us know. I think that would be really cool. It's like Bug said, or like Bug wrote and Trey read aloud from the sheet music. It's Bug's
Script.
Yeah, yes, script. Bug's role seems to very much be a facilitator, and I love that about the project from my own point of view. because he's not telling anybody what to do. He's welcoming people to contribute, and he's even welcoming people to contribute what they think the action should be next. And I love that about it. It very much feels like the indie music community we are all in love with happening in the form of action, of tangible action to help human beings. And I like that. And
Yeah, I really love that idea, by
Yeah.
the way. Indie for a cause. I mean, it's just such a win-win.
yeah,
You know, like any chance to like share music, hear other people's music, and like support a great cause. It's just like such a good idea.
yeah, I agree. And I know we've all talked about how it's kind of difficult to get people to hear our music. And while obviously there's no like direct, it's a great way to promote yourself. What I would like to talk about specifically is in my time trying to play loud, angry, like punk rock for a cause has never, ever helped anybody. And a lot of people it has. There are bands out there who have fed towns from their generosity and their skill. I've never been that guy, and the ability to just contribute meaningfully to real action means a lot to me, you know. And I hope there are other artists out there who get to feel the feeling of contributing in a way that is meaningful. So yeah, Trey, just write somewhere on the Indie for a Cause page that it means a lot to me.
Yeah, I would, but I don't have a pencil.
Trey, you're going to jail. Anyway, anybody who may want to know more about Indie for a Cause, I will absolutely have all necessary links, as well as all the links to everybody who is on the show today's pages and these songs, because I don't think we talked about the name of Echo's song or where to find it.
Oh.
So I'll have a link to that. Sorry, everybody. Live T-Rex TV, guys. It's crazy. It's chaos all the time. But from that, I do want to move into some of the high points, the opposite of our previous, kind of low points. I want to talk about some of the things that have happened, be they specific occurrences or just more vague sentimentalities that have become kind of the recurring fuel in your creative tank when you start to feel the discouragement. Things that. I didn't share one last time, and I told myself I would this time. I'll start us. One time I was playing a show, and I've got this one song that has a very, very recognizable guitar-based intro. And there's silence in the intro, right? So it's like da-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun, like that kind of thing. And in that space, that gap, I heard my younger brother say, yes, because he loves that song. And that moment, to me, comes back as like he loves my music. Often, whenever I'm discouraged, you know what I mean? So I've started the ball. I have opened my bizarre vulnerability to you guys. I'd like to start maybe with who did we end with last time? Flora, will you start us this time?
Okay. Well, it's very vague, but what I really like is about being independent is just doing whatever I want and whenever.
Yeah.
Like and the best well, it's a bit cliche, but yeah, the best memory was when Lum invited me to join the IMF Discord, because when I arrived there, I saw all of these talented producers doing different, like very different things from each other, but all of them super interesting. And they didn't like when I said, could we do a collab? They were all like, yeah, let's do it. And they were all super motivated. And I think I probably was at the point where I was thinking of slowing down, but then I joined and 2020 was a bit crazy in terms of collaborations. I've never done that many.
Yeah. Did you have a count? How many was it?
No, I don't.
Oh no. We'll edit that part out. We'll edit the question out. Let's make up a number. 47. Wait, that's an important number in that.
That's a lot.
Book.
Yeah,
it's so many. That's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. So was it kind of a lack of connection that had you thinking about slowing down? before?
Um,
Or
yes, I think before it was. I think it has been evoked several times during these podcasts that whenever you start a collaboration on Reddit, on Facebook, or, you never really know if it's going to finish. So for me, it was a bit like 50-50.
yeah,
Sometimes, yeah. So it was a bit random. But since I joined IMF, it's more consistent. Like we would usually finish
yeah,
and release
yeah.
something.
That's awesome.
It's very motivating. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. That's excellent. What about we're just gonna. So my screen shows you guys in like a pattern, and I'm just gonna go move to echo. I'm going in an X pattern right now. I don't.
Yeah.
It's not important. I don't know. Sometimes I truly believe I am trying desperately to make sense of something that already makes sense. Like none of that needed to be said. It's nonsense. It's the whole talking into a microphone for people to hear my thoughts one to one as I'm thinking them. That really gets me quite awkward in my decisions. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Echo,
No worries.
please tell me some about, or if anybody has anything to say about what Flora has shared.
I mean, yeah, like I guess it's pretty basic, but I just the love of writing a song just keeps me going. I mean, it doesn't matter like even if my last like 10 songs were just like flops and I hate
Yeah.
them now, I just still get so excited about the next one. As soon as like I hear a melody in my head that's like good. I don't know, that just always keeps me going. I
Yeah,
think it
yeah.
always will. I feel like that will always keep me going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just love it. I mean, I guess if I'm in a rut or something, I guess even finding ways, like finding inspiration, listening to other people's music, and I don't know, just keeping it fresh keeps me motivated as well. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
like
so.
looking forward to like change to something new, and I don't know. I just
Yeah.
love writing songs.
Yeah. That's awesome. Have you? So I think there's the potential for that to become its own like low point as well. Like, do you finish most everything you start making, or do you have like this closet full of skeletons you don't want to talk about as far as like half finished tracks?
Oh yeah, I've got tons of those. But I think I tell myself that I will finish those one
Okay.
day,
Yeah.
but it's just never gonna happen.
That's
But
awesome.
that's okay. I mean, as long as I can keep that excitement, that like freshness, it's fine. Like those skeletons can I'll have
Yeah.
I'll just have a whole room full of skeletons eventually, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I
It
can keep
absolutely will be
fresh.
fine. Yeah. I agree. That's awesome. I feel differently about you're like a very upbeat version of me. We both play guitar and write songs, but man, I'm very angry at all the things you seem okay with. Do you guys?
Do you not like the skeletons?
No, I've got to finish a song even if it's terrible when it's done. I don't know why. I wish I didn't feel that way about it. You know?
It's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big time. Big time. Mark, what about you? What's the big highlight for you?
I would say I think that for me making music is just like really empowering. I'm just really excited about the process, and like when I have something, I'm just excited to listen to it over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
That's just lately it's been like trying to with some video concepts and stuff, but just excited to just like when I have a new song that I'm excited about. I have lots of stuff that is not finished, but it's almost there. But it's more like me trying to figure out how to release things now, because that's I've said before I've done this long enough where I've kind of done this release, done that release, and tried to get it in a newspaper or like a blog post on a like a site or something like that. But now I'm just excited about just keep making music that I'm passionate about. Before COVID, it was like you get to like meet people and share things that you're excited about and bond with them. Now you have like well, and it's tough around people, but now I'm excited to just keep making it. That's what I would say.
Yeah. That's awesome. We talked some before we started streaming and recording about your videos, and how they they have that kind of theme, Echo mentioned that they kind of remind her of like zines because they're very handmade and all that.
Oh, like a zine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh no, you know what? We didn't talk
At
about
least
that
the
before.
the handwritten element. In it.
Yeah, we
Oh,
talked about
okay.
that at the beginning of the episode. We've already talked about that, but um, it's hard to remember. I used to have like very rigid scripts and notes every time I would do one of these. I don't have any of those anymore. I just try really hard to have a conversation with people. So sorry about that, but I do want to know more about the process of making those videos. Like you're talking about looking for new ways to share and stuff. How long does just the video that we're going to share of yours? How long did that one take you to make?
That would probably took me maybe 2-3 weeks to make.
Yeah.
The process for me to make a video is, I usually try to think about like a way to kind of get the lyrics down, just the important part of the lyric, and maybe like a color scheme. I'm trying to think about like a couple colors, like in a very small palette.
Mm.
The one that we'll watch eventually is like it's all about orange and white, and I just like these two colors. I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Where does the concept come? The concept comes from art that I've made for years and years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess Echo said it, but there's like this tangible thing. I really, for me, I need to have that tangible thing so I can sort of get in that flow. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that concept flow, but like when you're making art and that's what you're focused on, that's what I really like about doing it. So I'm just thinking about colors and interesting things, visual things that kind of connect with it. I try to feature a microphone in it. I have a cassette machine in the video that I would like, that I love the way it looks. It doesn't sound very good, but like
That's funny.
I'm trying to think about mundane things in my life, that like objects that tell a story, and that's what I'm really excited about when I make a video is like when I look at something and I'm like, what story does this object tell me about my life?
Yeah. So. Do you start coming up with kind of the story objects based on the lyrics of the song you have made, or are they often just kind of separate things?
They are kind of separate, but I was thinking, the was it the cassette machine in this video is very much like, I guess it's supposed to represent like making the music. The vocal mic, I try to show the vocal mic to show when the lyrics start or stop. But I guess the objects are just things that I have a weird connection with. The masking tape, I have this weird thing with it. I have it around my hand, like markers and all this other stuff. Like, I don't know. It just feels tangible and real to me. We said before, like I feel like overwhelmed by a lot of like the digital world, and all this like tangible stuff kind of makes me feel like art is, well, at least this is like real.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, stuff on the computer.
I don't want to get too tangential, but Mark, have you ever heard of washi tape? It's like this like rice paper tape from Japan.
No.
If you like masking tape, you should like
Cool.
definitely. I have so many of them.
Yeah.
I won't show you. I won't get.
I'll write it down because I do have a pen.
They inspire me too. Like these tapes, I know what you mean. Washi tape.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Washi tape. Okay. Washi tape.
Is it
right.
masking tape with like different colors? Like what makes it? What do you love about
They're
it?
sort of like decorative rice paper tape. I guess you can use them in the same way that you would use masking tape. But I think there's like a whole cult following these like little tapes.
The washi tape like that? Is
with
that
an I.
backwards for you?
It's an
Okay,
I,
all
not
right.
a Y. But yeah, I think Mark will appreciate those.
I'm into this. I have a new video. I have a new video that's I'm into. What are these? What kind of markers are these?
Oh yeah, what are these?
Expo? Dry erase?
Dry erase
Dry
markers.
erase markers.
So I have a new video coming out in a couple weeks where I practiced my cursive handwriting for about 2 weeks. And so I did all these cursive tiles on this, and then I erased them and I reversed the footage. I got the idea from there's this director, John Cocteau, who would do all this like reverse footage and stuff.
Oh, it's gonna be so cool.
Yeah, that's
good idea.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's where that's I guess one of the ideas that I get. So all right, I wrote it down. And I got my cap.
He's gonna erase it backwards on a video.
Yeah,
before
well,
being
if you do,
immersed
I
in
do a
fun.
lot of that. I do like
Yeah.
footage. I do footage backwards because that's what they did in like the 30s and 40s before they had special effects. They would just they would film something and then play it backwards. And then once I started doing that, I became obsessed with it. I'm like, this is because you're like playing with the concept of time, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So like you
I
can
have a
like, you
question
can tell a
actually
story
for
that way.
Bar. Sorry.
Sure.
Does like the idea
Yeah.
for a video ever inspire you for like a song?
Mm.
I don't know.
No,
curious.
unfortunately, so, like lately, my songs are just ones. I said I have a lot of songs in the back burner, and these are ones that have been sitting around for years. And honestly, I'm using the video to motivate myself to finish the songs.
Mm.
That makes sense because, like, I've released LPs and EPs and did all this stuff, and it was just like, ugh. So now I'm just like, I have all this stuff sitting on a hard drive that I want to release, and I'm like, I'll make videos, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. So
That's awesome. I had a
having
similar question about like videos inspiring audio, but I cannot remember what it was.
Sorry to steal.
No,
your
you
question.
didn't. You didn't at all. I think the answer. Oh no. I remember what it was now. I have found occasionally when I ask someone like, what's something that just like really inspires your music, they talk about not music. They'll talk about like a film director or an author or something, because there's this kind of like artistic approach that they learn to value a different thing in their own art. What about that director? Was it just his use of like the backwards film that?
yeah. Oh,
picked
Jean
up?
Cocteau. Yeah, without a doubt. And I hate to admit, but I'm one of those people that sadly I really don't really listen to that much music anymore. It's weird. I don't. I get very distracted by music, and I feel like I can't focus on like if it's in the background and someone's having a conversation, I'm like, oh, you got to turn that off. I can't
Yeah.
focus. So with like a director, I guess just seeing like a visual scene and kind of having an emotional response to it, it makes me want to make music.
Mhm.
Not that I don't listen to music anymore, but like, you know, it's just, that's when I'm inspired now by things that are not music.
Yeah.
So it can shut off like a certain brain, because I still think there's like an element of mystery to it. Like some music has been very demystified to me. So it's like, I'm like, I see what they're doing. I see how they did that. Okay.
Yeah. Bug, I've definitely seen some of your work. I'm sorry, Trey. Can I just call you Bug from here to the end?
It says in the script that that's okay.
Oh,
for
fantastic.
purposes. I forgot to mention that earlier.
I'm gonna be so much better at talking to you if I could just call you Bug. In fact, if I could just call everybody I ever talked to again Bug, that would really save me a lot of time.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Bug, I've seen some really, really cool like Instagram type posts and stuff with your music overlaid with it seems like maybe like movie footage and things like that. Is that something that inspires you before the music has taken place? Do you see footage and you think, oh, I'd love to make a score for this scene, for these images, things like that?
Sometimes, but not always. I definitely pull inspiration and influence from a lot of other mediums, whether it's movies or something else. When I put together those posts, it's often just trying to think of, I need some content to share. It's been a while. I haven't. And I think that looking at a moving video is more interesting than just sharing maybe my album art with music playing in the background. So I try to find something that I think fits, but usually the song wasn't written with the intent of that particular scene. Although I have in the past, something that I really like to do is to put on a movie and set it, mute the TV, but turn the subtitles on and then play instruments along with the movie and try to provide a sort of score as it's happening. So
that is really cool.
Yeah, I've tried to do that too, but the score never matches the tone. It's always quite terrifying.
I've almost made the Silent Hill movie bearable.
Oh,
almost.
Wow! Hey, that's
almost.
You're doing God's work, Trey. Yeah. That's awesome. Go ahead.
I have friends who cut up like old videos and they put them onto VHS, and then they project it, and I did like a live score of it. That's like really cool.
Yeah,
Really
that is cool. That is cool.
Awesome.
I saw in Nashville there's a symphony hall. I can't remember what it's called now, of course. But they at Halloween time, a guy plays organ, big pipe organ, while the Phantom of the Opera plays silently. And he'll play like little silly things, like when something more menacing happens on screen, and it will like change the tone of what's going on. It's cool how, it's cool how music has that power in. Am I echoing? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
No, you're good.
I feel like I am in my own head. Sorry.
I have the Twitch on.
Is it Twitch? Yeah.
Maybe. Let me check.
That sounds really cool.
It's muted. But
The
yeah.
Phantom of the Opera thing.
Yeah. Oh, it was super cool. And it's interesting too, because when you watch a movie, I guess even without dialogue, like you can communicate such a tone to a scene based just on like the sounds being used. So it's cool to see it's cool to hear how people think about when they're making that. I've made exactly one music video, and I'm very excited to continue making more because it was a lot of fun. So I'm mostly just trying to steal y'all's ideas about it. Echo, it would be an incomplete conversation without you telling us more about the actual making of the music video you shared.
Oh yeah, for Detach.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I filmed that in the park with a friend. I always mess up the title of this classic film, Something Thousand Leagues Under the Sea. I always get the wrong number.
I think it's 20,000?
20, 30. Well, that movie.
Let's ask the
is in
chat.
the-
Keep going.
Oh, yeah. What is the
They'll
name of
tell
it?
us. Somebody will tell us.
Vern. It's Jules Verne, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Jules Verne. So
20,
that
yeah, it's
movie-
20,000.
Okay, 20,000.
I've cut you off
that's
like
the
12 times, Echo. I'm so sorry. Please.
okay,
I'm
no
going to
worries.
shut up completely.
It's an
now.
important detail.
It's so important, yeah.
But that movie is in the Creative Commons, and so I just sort of chopped it up. I wanted, actually, I can't remember if it was because I was like watching that movie that I got inspired, but I wanted the bass to sound like you're submerged under the ocean.
Yeah.
So while I was like mixing the song, I like spent like a really long time trying to make the bass sound like you're underwater.
You didn't just
Without
get
being, like-
underwater and record the bass?
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. That would be
So I
awesome.
just sort of made the video look that way as well.
Yeah.
I tried to.
That's cool. So for you, it was kind of the video inspired some of the audio and maybe vice versa.
Oh, you cut out there a little, sorry.
Oh, for you though,
Yeah.
it was that the video had some inspiration on the audio as well.
I think,
Yeah.
thinking back, I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's really cool. I'm sorry. I'm gonna turn this off completely. I can really hear myself a lot.
Go for it. No worries.
There we go.
The video footage thing is a really cool idea, Echo.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to use someone else's footage of I'm doing this video for Atlantic City, and I wanted to use someone's footage of the demolition of the Trump casino. It wasn't there, and I have some footage, and I can't get a hold of the one person to get their permission, so I just like.
Oh,
So I don't want to
cool.
use it. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah, you got to be careful with the copyright stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should just
if it's in the commons, you're right.
you should just like fold or like draw on like a cardboard box and like cut to it as though it is a real piece of footage, like a black and white. This cardboard box is burning down type thing. Like very very much like what's that movie? Jack Black. He fake makes movies with Mos Def.
Yeah, that's an inspiration to me. That director.
Yeah.
his
Be
name is-
it
kind
Michel
to everyone.
Gondry?
It's Michel. Yeah, Michel.
Yeah,
Gondry. Be kind
he's
to
so
everyone.
inspiring to me too. I'm glad you said that. He's like
Nice.
a hero of mine, actually.
Same.
That's awesome. I don't know any. You guys just said a director's name and I've already forgotten it because I do not know. I just
He's
never
directed
keep up.
You've seen his
Eternal
films, Karen.
Sunshine of
Several
the
of-
Spotless Mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
I liked that movie. Yeah, yeah.
several of Bjork's music videos. He's
Yeah,
done,
a
like
lot.
Human
Okay.
Behavior and
Gotcha.
There's a Foo Fighters video he did.
Yes.
Everlong.
Nice.
Everything
That
done
was
is
so
great.
good.
Yeah,
Everything's great.
sounds like it. That's pretty excellent. I wanted to, before we move on from the video talk, not the video talk that we're having, but talking about making videos, I wanted to bring up, Mark, you and Papa Janitsky, you guys are hosting like a video.
Oh, I think
You
he's
tell me
the-
what it is. I don't fully understand exactly
he
what
wants,
it is.
No, he wants to do another part of the channel
Yeah.
focus on making videos, as I understand it.
Yeah. So it's
I've had a busy week, so I've been a little out
yeah.
of it.
So it's less of like a one time like event about like here's how you make a video, and it's more of just like we are adding a space for that discussion, kind of like we've had with music.
As I understand it, I
Yeah,
could be
okay.
wrong. I don't want to speak for him, but yeah, this week I've been a little out of it. I've been like running around like a crazy person. So, as I understand it, that was his idea. It's his idea.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So,
That's cool.
His baby.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'm just.
It looks
I
like
just- I wanted to-
Boz is in on it too. So maybe I misunderstood. I thought you were. Maybe I'm putting on you that you were in charge of this. No, you never were. You just make videos.
No more
So
responsibility. Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, I also it's going to be cool because the main reason I'm very aware of it early on is because I host once a month Music Video Mayhem on the IMF server, where we all get a theme and we all try to make a video out of one of our songs based on that theme, and that's the reason I've made one music video, because last month the theme was Sing Along, and I honestly ripped you off a little bit without really realizing I did it. I just did a bunch of like hand-drawn pictures and handwritten, and I told a little comic book story about a monster guy.
Oh,
It's
you
very
didn't rip me.
strange.
I'm sure I stole it.
Yeah.
There's like a whole culture of like people on Instagram who do like, I don't know if anybody see, they do like these electronic video stuff with Volcas and stuff, and I'm really into that, and like the Michel Gondry stuff, and the but yeah, no, I mean, but don't feel that way.
Yeah, no, I promise you, if I did rip you off, I do not feel bad about it. So we'll be okay. I'm a big fan of the that book Steal Like an Artist, where he explains like the best thing you can do for your art is just be honest that everything you like is what you're gonna steal from. You know.
Yeah.
So like yeah. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that we steal from one another. That's how we grow. And I think that is the central theme of this new like kind of space that IMF is not opening. It's a digital space. You don't open or close anything in the digital world, but providing for folks so we can all share our videos as we're making them and we're learning and things like that. And then once a month we'll all have a spot to actually show off what we've made.
I think everybody should. I said it before. Everybody should be doing video content because, the game has changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, Slacker Man is my go-to guy for like promotion, and his main thing is if it's a free tool on the internet, you should have something on it. So like if you can have something on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, YouTube, LinkedIn, who cares? Like your digital footprint grows every time you branch out into a new idea. Flora, we skipped you in like the video talk because I have not personally seen any of your video work. Are you interested in that kind of stuff? Have you worked on that?
It's like music production. I do it like once a year. I've done that early, like for one of my first collaborations, and then I did a video that is a bit similar for to the one that Echo did. So it was also using footage in Creative Commons that was legal and black and white
Yeah.
movies, and me lip syncing to it. So it was kind of the same kind of idea. And I am currently editing a new video for my band, Okay Feather.
Oh,
So-
nice. Yeah. So,
Is it for a song that's released?
Sorry?
Is your new video for one of the songs that's released, or?
It's not released yet. The song is released. It's called Gulliver, but the video I would say is maybe in a month, in a few weeks. I don't know. We still are missing a few footage.
Yeah.
I just really love the song Gulliver, so I was hoping you would say that.
Oh,
That's awesome.
thank you.
Yeah. So I want to actually share, Flora, the song you brought to share with us, and it's quite a it's fantastic. I'm going to say that first, but also it is
Thank you.
adventurous. That's the word I'm going to use. You told me how many languages are being used in the lyrics, but I won't spoil it. Maybe I forgot. Can you tell me again for everyone?
So I think there are 5 languages. So there is English and French, German, Chinese, and Korean.
That's fantastic.
So, and it's a collaboration with my band Okay Feather. Well, the composer for OK Feather, myself, and DHXP
Yeah.
produced the song.
Good old Dury. Yeah, let's listen to it. If let me see here. And when we get back, we're going to. I don't think we've talked to Trey, about the highlight, the high point yet. Yeah. So when we get back from the song, we'll talk about that, and we'll see what happens from there. I'm going to mute.
OK Feather, DHXP,
Flora Lin.
Dark is the night as we fly in the sky, but we'll find the treasure. There's nothing we will not achieve when we have such a determination. Got no time to look back when I've come so far. I'm not going backwards when everything's so good.
Ich bestimmt, was ich wirklich sein will. Vielleicht bin ich verrückt, I'm going in for the kill. Könnte es sein, dass nie Jibwitch down. Wie kann ich selbst sein? I just don't know.
Même si je ne suis personne, je tiens ouais. Tell me on the penalty, I will always. Cause it's just a game, we can have a little bit more pressure. Say it's insane, but it will only make me stronger, better. I won't pretend I'm more innocent. Nothing about me you would expect. Straight to the point, going for the kill. I don't wait for a fairy tale. What do I want? Sometimes I doubt. Just to come back with more gentle in the shin. Yeah, say what you want and so get it paroles. You always won't tell me to someone I'm not. And every single time that I look back, there is nothing telling me I'm on the wrong track. Some things I would do in a different way, but there's no time and place to think about regret. 저기 어딘가 잠에서 깨어난 널 잊을까 이 밤 속에서
Still I fail to see what everyone wants me to be. I got my mouth shut, got my arms tight. I'm on my knees, yeah, but I survive.
캄캄한 골짜기 아래 서면 밀려온 바람이 내 발을 이끈다. 휘청이며 맞는 지금 이 바람이 살갗위 눈물과 땀을 훔치며 여기 어딘가 잠에서 깨어난 널 잊을까 이 바람 속에서 여기 어딘가 잠에서 깨어난 널 잊을까 I will always say this to the game. We can add a little bit more pressure. Say it's insane, but it will only make me stronger, better. I won't pretend I'm more innocent. Nothing about me you would expect. Straight to the point, going for the kill. I don't wait for a fairy tale. Même si je ne suis personne, je couvais ma naissance. 흔들리는 이 길이 하늘로 맞닿을 때
Man, that is truly a fantastic track. And, well, my camera. There we go. Oh. Hey, I exist. I really dig that track. When you sent it to me, you actually, it's funny, you sent me like an earlier maybe master of it or something,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. And then you sent me the updated one. and I remember I had listened to the earlier one, but I was working, like I was at my job, and I don't somehow when I heard it again, I was like, I have never heard this before in my entire life. This is
Oh.
crazy. Like both like the specific track I had heard, but also the style of music it is. Like it is poppy, you know, like you've mentioned that's kind of a goal of yours is to make not pop a little more poppy, I guess. But it's so progressive in really enjoyable ways too. And the art, the album art, I really enjoyed that art. So
Yeah, I forgot to talk about that.
yeah, please tell us
but
more about
so
it.
yes, so this is a collaboration between my band OK Feather and DHXP, and together we are a band called Cosmos, basically. But in OK Feather there is the composer, so she also sings in Korean in this song, and there is Woo Lion who is doing the artwork for OK Feather, and sometimes he does lyrics and other things. And
That's
here
awesome.
he is doing all the artwork for Cosmos as well. So he's part of the band. He's part
Yeah.
of Cosmos.
That's awesome. Does
Yes.
so they do all of the art for your previous band too? Is it usually kind of in this style of like it almost reminds me of like pop art where he's taken a very familiar template or format to a piece and he's made it about your band instead? Is that usually the kind of stuff
Yeah,
he makes
yeah.
for your
That's
for OK Feather?
it's true. It's not the first time we do this,
Yeah.
and we don't always plan to do this, but here it was kind of easy. He
Yeah.
quickly thought of that idea, and actually, so the pigeon in the picture is the composer of OK Feather. Because she's obsessed with birds and pigeons. So
That's awesome.
that's her character.
Pigeons are survivors.
that's-
I'm with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere. They're fighters, but people tend to forget about them. And that's why she wanted them to be the star of most of her projects. She is a big fan of photography, and it started that way. She would have terras of pigeon footage and from all over the world. And there was like photo and texts and everything, and she was also making music, so we all thought as a group of friends, like, let's make music about pigeons, about birds. And that's how OK Feather started.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a
And,
wonderful. That's just a really. I hope so much that your band, or at least you, get ridiculously famous someday. Just so there is a moment when you have to tell everybody, oh, we wanted to make music about pigeons, and you know, now we're super rich.
I hope I will get to tell this story.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to
yeah.
tell them. Yeah.
That's a good story.
And Gulliver is about Animal Crossing, the seagull. Well, yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's also and so in the cover, the lion is my partner who's doing the artwork.
Yeah. Do you? So that's really interesting. Like that. Obviously, I can't understand all of the lyrics in that specific song. What is that? What is that song about? You've mentioned you have a song about like an Animal Crossing character, and also this love for birds earlier on in the project between you and OK Feather. Where do you usually get when you write a song? Is it always kind of something you're trying to take? I don't particularly feel like a character in a video game is like the most artistic concept, but you have made art out of the idea of it. You know what I mean? Is that usually what you're looking for when you start to write a song?
That's an interesting question. I usually don't know.
That's fine.
For Gulliver, so the composer had an idea for the melody as well, for the vocal melody, and from her melody, I just thought it would fit very well with the sea, and then from the sea, it would fit very well with the sea from Gulliver and Animal Crossing. I don't know how I got that idea, but once the idea was there, I couldn't let it go. I thought, yeah, okay, that's it. I really hope that she will be okay with it. And for this particular song, Eyes Wide Open, DHXP was a bit inspired by a Korean pop project called KDA. So I listened to it a bit, and a lot of the songs were about feeling confident, and I mean, despite all of the challenges. And so I thought, yeah, okay, I will try to think about that concept. But usually, yeah, I try to detach myself from anything artistic because it kind of puts pressure on me. So I try not to think about anything artistic. I mean, just thinking about a fun concept.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah. And I hope you didn't hear me say like making a fun concept into a song isn't artistic. I think it's beautifully artistic that you took something
thank
that
you.
could very well be passed up as just a benign, concept, this video game character, and you made something very enjoyable. And
Thank
I
you.
love that. I think that's the most artistic thing you can do, But
you.
I do want to ask our dear friend Trey if Bug has left any notes for him regarding Bug's like maybe top 85 moments in his musical career.
He left a list of 200, but I'll try to condense it down.
Yeah. Thank you.
First, Bug has a note here, which I second. Congratulations, Flora, on being the world's first pigeon pop band, I guess.
Pigeon
I mean, you have your own hashtag right there.
Yes, that's fantastic.
I'll accept 5%.
We should do a collab, like, yeah. Like we eat you, I guess.
So you had me at we should do a collab, and then as the sentence went on,
Yeah.
you lost me. But
It's going to be way more than 5% if you're gonna eat him. Yeah.
I don't know, but it would be interesting, like birds versus bugs versus birds.
I'll talk to my contractor, the Bug, and see what he says. He
Yeah.
did not give me permission in my clause to accept new projects on his behalf. But I find that, or rather, my client that I'm representing finds that one of the greatest joys, aside from making music just for yourself and taking comfort in your own work, rather embarrassingly, Spotify at the end of the year releases your year-end stats and says, oh, here's the artist you listen to the most. And for the past 2 years in a row, my most listened to Trey, acting student, first-year acting student, my most listened to artist, the past 2 years in a row, before I was even an acting student, was Bug on Spotify, which is really embarrassing and self-indulgent. But if you don't write music for yourself, who are you writing it for?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta like it, I guess. And then half that listening is listening back and thinking, I can't believe I released it like that. Oh God. And finding new errors to grow from. But so taking like comfort in what you finish and enjoying it is hugely satisfying. But I also find that growing and trying new things as an artist has really motivated me to keep going and to continually be inspired and feel like what I'm doing is fresh. So moving into new ideas or new genres, or trying to do, long form mixes rather than individual tracks, or trying to score a movie, or doing more collaborations. I'd been trying for so long. I started off playing in bands, then moved on to doing some solo stuff, and that was starting to feel a little bit stale. Perhaps I was running out of ideas. Who knows? But then there were two sort of catalysts that really renewed my interest in writing music. One was this thing called RPM Challenge, Record Producers Month Challenge. It's every February, and people can sign up online, and it tasks you to write either 10 songs or 30 minutes of material, write and record it within the month of February. And so the first year I did that was 2019, and that inspired me to, all right, you may have been feeling burnt out, but now you have a hard set deadline to pursue and try to crank out some new tunes. And so that led to trying new writing approaches and kind of pushing myself in a different way. And then I found IMF shortly after that. So that was the next sort of inspiration. Oh, here's a community of people who all want to collaborate on things. So that inspired me to view art differently and to also continue making it.
Mm-hmm.
That was all written on this paper.
Yeah. Good job, Trey. Man, you again. I'll just send this video to Bug. He can pay you more or whatever, 10%.
He gave me local Klendathu currency, which I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with
Useless.
it, but I'll take it down to the pub, see what
Yeah,
they say.
he gave me Klendathu currency last time he was on the show, and I tried to use it with a Klendathu merchant, and they laughed me out of the store. It's not even real. You need to double check before he leaves, okay?
I'm out of here.
Yeah. No, I wanted to ask you guys: have you had a moment when maybe a project, something that required you to finish a thing, was the motivation you needed to, or the discipline you needed to create something a little bit more? Flora, I feel like everything you've shared with me so far is that you always kind of have someone waiting for your contribution. So maybe that's a silly
That's
question
true.
to ask you. Yeah.
I like to have deadlines.
Yeah.
It makes me want to continue for sure. Yeah. Yeah, knowing that it will be released, knowing that there will be a video or something like that, or that it will be pitched somewhere. Yeah, it does motivate me to go to continue.
Yeah, for sure. Mark, do you have a strict timeline that helps you get your videos out, or are they kind of leisurely?
Well, my strict, I don't actually have timelines. I'm usually the motivation. Usually the songs lately have been like 5 years old. The one we're gonna watch is from 2016.
Nice.
It's just been sitting on a hard drive. That's actually what my motivation is. Just again, like my motivation is to finish stuff by finding a new way to release it. Because I got so much stuff that I'm really proud of, but I just don't know what to do with it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of where I am.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Echo?
Yeah, I kind of need to impose deadlines for myself more. So, I'm actually being in IMF has really sort of helped me in that way. Just seeing how other people release things regularly or just way more often than I do. It's been motivation too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to see how other people do that. So I have to, it's something I want to sort of impose more on myself.
Yeah, for sure. I would
do think
have
it's
to.
very helpful.
For sure. I have to recommend to you, just check out more of like the IMF games.
Oh yeah.
Because I write like
I'm working on my first round robin right now, and it's so
nice.
I mean, it's fun, but it's also like, wow, this is really great. Like just like having only 48 hours is just so different than what I
Yeah. So I've never played round robin. How does that go? What's your part of that?
So I think this one might be slightly different. This one might be slightly different than they have been in the past, but basically we were each assigned a role, or we signed up for a role, and so I'm working with Televangeles, Dark Fee, and USS Submarine, and Picasso. And so we each
Man,
have 48
Picasso's in
hours.
IMF? I had no idea. That's crazy.
So we each have 48 hours to do our part and like make a stem. But I mean, the rules are sort of loose. Like we can add more, like whatever, go back later.
Yeah. Which am I right in my belief that somebody is like the drums and somebody is the melody and somebody?
Yes.
What part are you adding?
So I signed up for bass, and I also did backup Fox
Nice.
vocals.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but yes, I do intend to play more games.
Yeah.
IMF games, those are awesome.
Yeah. Other games too. It's fine. Dark Souls.
Any game,
Yeah. Who cares?
all games are great.
Yeah. I agree completely. There's a lot of people are big fans of Round Robin in the chat. Also, Slacker Man is also on to the fake Klendathu money. I think he's into it. But yeah. So that's cool. I'm really excited. When will that Round Robin track be out? Like when will it be the release
April
party?
4th? I'll have to double check the channel.
Yeah, super soon then. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not know how to go about releasing a track that like 8 people worked on. So anytime I contribute to something like that, I just hope someone else has a plan. Will it be available on your SoundCloud or where you keep your music, or is that going somewhere
We
else?
haven't discussed it yet. I'm really not sure, but I'm sure it'll be available somewhere.
Yeah.
Listen to. Yeah.
We'll find it. Someone will find it somewhere sometime. Nobody has to know yet. Yeah, that's awesome. That's super cool. Let me see here. We have one more song that I do want to listen to, and I also really appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to me. I want to be sure that while we are all still in the same digital space, I take a moment to say that as human beings and as artists and as some of you collaborators in the past, like, you have all been exceedingly inspirational to me in ways that we keep bringing up IMF being helpful, but IMF is just a group of people. It's a, you know, it is a website, or it's a section of a website. It is a section of Discord, but mostly it's the human beings that we share it with, you know. And because of you guys, more artists are going to be born into the terrifying world of trying to share their music every day, and I'm grateful. But before we share this, it's not called Good Morning Daydreamer. I'm sorry. It's called In Decline. Mark.
Oh yeah, well that's my group. Good Morning Daydreamer is my group. Yeah, and then the song's called In Decline. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So we'll listen to it. Let me see I'll just put the link. You guys have told me how to pronounce it several times now, and I still don't feel confident, so I'm not going to try.
Rêve Vague?
Yeah, even now. You just said it again. I'm not. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not great at pronouncing it either. That's right.
I kept saying Rêve Vague because
Get the idea.
I'm painfully American in my vernacular. But here we go. Let's listen to this song.
Hit my mic off.
Sometimes I catch myself covering news, covering wells. Then look in your eyes. Worth it all, any price. Deep down, we're all the same. Hiding depths, hiding pain. Let go. Far gone, the things you missed. Party on, you're off the list. Fears of missing out. We're all the same, we all got doubt. Let go. Hard enough to keep your head on straight, to fall apart while you wait. I know some things take time. What's left is in decline. Things I want are out of reach. Live my life, but what I preach. So I am sitting here. Dreams go and disappear. Spread out, so I'm told. Buy it up before I'm old. Secret to happiness. Shut your mouth, we don't discuss. Let go. Hard enough to keep your head on straight, to fall apart while you wait. I know some things take time. What's left is in decline. Things I want are out of reach. Live my life, but what I preach. So I am sitting here. Dreams go and disappear.
Yes,
That's fantastic. I like
it's
that a
fun.
lot.
Yeah, I do it for fun.
Oh, whoops.
Bug's here.
Oh my goodness, guys. I'm going to
Welcome
learn how
back,
to use
Bug.
YouTube one day. Yes, Bug. So, Trey, I got to tell you, Bug, I didn't like Trey at all. Don't bring him back.
Oh my god! I was gonna ask you if was my money well spent. No, no.
No.
That kid's fired. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
With the script I left him, I can't believe it.
He didn't know how to read, Bug. He told us.
I already didn't have a pencil either. What's going on?
Yeah. What kind of first-year actor shows up to a gig without a pencil?
I'm convinced. I'm not so convinced that where I went was actually the acting college.
Maybe he's in maybe they're telling him it's an acting college, but really he's just moving hay bales around a farm all day. That'd be
You cut out at the end there, but I agree.
Yeah. It's probably exactly what happened. Well, that's basically the gist of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I appreciate you sharing your high points and your low points as artists and as people, sharing your music, your art, and just kind of the pleasure you get from your creations. I really like sharing that part because the like Bug was talking, or like Trey mentioned for Bug, the most my songs ever get played is by me, because that's who I mostly made them for, and it's super fortunate, super lucky when we find people, we connect with people who like it as well. I think that is the cherry on top of the cake. That is not the cake. The cake is the joy that we get from the creating, from turning our inside feelings and thoughts into tangible evidence that we are living people. So thank you very much for sharing that. I want to give everybody just a moment. If you had anything else you wanted to say, if you be it like your SoundCloud, shout out your SoundCloud, y'all. Isn't that what the rappers do these days? At the beginning of their tracks, they'll shout out their SoundCloud. I like that. Thank you for laughing. I'm sorry.
I was just looking at a picture of Bug, and I was like,
You weren't even laughing at my terrible
I
joke.
started-
Oh no.
yeah, I just started having trouble with it.
Yeah.
So, my composure now.
I
everything's
loved
crazy.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to say I loved the video and I loved the song as well. And your voice is great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I was gonna say, if folks could subscribe to my YouTube,
Yeah.
it's kind of lonely up there, but
I'll show. But in preparing for this, I was not, and I thought, that's weird. I swear I had done that. So I just want you to know I am now subscribed on 2 of my YouTube profiles because I was subscribed on mine, and now I'm subscribed also on the shows. So, yeah, getting those numbers, man. That's what it's about. Let's be real. Yeah. Well, awesome. Yeah, I hope everybody follows your YouTube. Of course, that link will be available. Also, Flora, this song you shared with me is not yet released, right?
No, it will be released on the 14th
The
of
14th.
May.
Awesome. Yeah, you may have already mentioned that. I wanted to be sure we at least
No,
you didn't.
I haven't. I forgot actually.
I forgot as well. So I'm glad we took a moment to mention that. Bug, I hope. Man, I just hope. I don't even know honestly. Why don't you tell me what I should be hoping?
Hope is a good thing. It's
Yeah.
good to be filled with hope.
It is.
Yeah, I have a bunch of random stuff in the works, collaborations, singles, albums, you have it, what have you.
Awesome.
Whatever those people do. Follow me on social media at Typical Bug. Follow me on SoundCloud at Music for Bugs. Why did I use different names? Who knows? Too late to change it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Branding purposes.
Yeah. You just
Shooting
you
a
have
wide
to
net.
you have to claim every name with Bug in it eventually.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I have 27 different Bandcamp accounts. I'm not going to list them all, but they exist.
Yeah. That's awesome. Echo, I do not want to leave you out of this. Tell me, where should we find you, and what should we be looking forward to?
Yeah, so I actually am still trying to pin down my actual artist name in time for my first EP, which will hopefully be out soon. But you can find everything I do at echothehuman.com.
Oh.
I just like that. I just have a website because it's just easier to put everything in one place.
Yeah.
and it's also fun to do that.
That is,
So
yeah.
from there,
Yeah. That's awesome.
please, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Let's do it right now. Let's go to it.
Oh,
I just
okay.
popped it in.
Why not? Yes. Yeah, I used Wix, I think, something like that. Not to plug other. I did make. Oh, I made the website, but yeah. Thank you.
Everyone
Yeah.
should go to it and buy something, I think.
I don't know if there are things for sale there necessarily, but
Listen to
maybe
something.
there's fun to be had.
Yeah, look at something, listen
Music
to
to
something,
listen to.
click something, do the whole thing. Awesome, guys. Well, I really appreciate your time. I would honestly say, hey guys, if you want to ask any questions, go ahead. But we're close to the time. I don't want to keep you guys longer than I already have, honestly. And luckily, almost everybody listening knows where to find you, IMF, or on the links that I will be providing. So, thank you all very much for your time, and stay creative.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you, Rex.
wonderful songs, everybody. They were great.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
everybody.
Yeah, big
That was
time.
great.
Guys.
All right. Adios.
Peace. Hey, thanks again for listening to the Stay Creative podcast. And thanks very much to my guests, Flora, Mark, Echo, and of course Bug, and also Trey. I guess Trey was in the episode just as much as Bug. All of their links will be available in the description of this episode on YouTube and on Buzzsprout, and of course on the Spotify or wherever you may be listening to the podcast. There is a section for notes or episode descriptions, things like that, and that's where all of their links will be. As well as a link to Indie for a Cause, which is the charity compilation, monthly, bi-monthly album that you can find that Bug was talking about. Please follow the Stay Creative Podcast link tree to find links to other ways to engage with the show. Also, there's a link to IMF. We can't say enough how much IMF has done for us as artists and just as an artistic community. Having that space where listening to one another is the first rule. I think that has changed a lot of our artistic practices and our just what we seek to get out of art. The show is recorded live every 2 weeks on Twitch, which you can find a link for in that same link tree. That same day, of course, it's on YouTube. But if you want your voice to be heard, if you want your questions and your comments to play a part of this conversation we're having, please join us on Twitch every other week. Of course, if you're already going to IMF, you will hear about it there as well. I try to do a good job of posting on the social medias and, of course, in the server, the Discord server. I hope we get to share some time, conversation, and music again very soon. But until then, please stay courageous, stay curious, and stay creative.